Hello everyone, happy fountain pen day. I am coming to you with my, it's a bit of a mixed video, I guess you could say. I'm doing my currently inked for November with you, and I'm also doing a bit of a pen chat with you and a bit of a life update. So let's get into it. You'll actually see I have a lot less pens that I'm starting the month out with than what I have in previous months, and there's a reason behind that. So I've had a lot sort of going on in the last couple of months family-wise. So as you all know from a previous video, my mother-in-law passed away the day before my birthday. That was back in at the end of September. My middle son graduated high school and has now finished all his final exams. So he is thrilled to be done and dusted, as they say. And then last week, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about it, and please don't ask for details or anything. But my husband ended up in hospital and had to have some surgery. It was all very unexpected. He is now recovering from that, and he's going to be okay. So that's the most important thing. But as a consequence of all of that going on at the moment and coming up to a busy time of the year as well for our family, we tend to have a lot on in November and December. I'm going to try and keep things a little simpler for myself so I don't get overwhelmed. I think that's probably the most important thing, is when you've got a lot going on, keep it simple, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So I have some pens inked up here. I also have some new pens to show you as well. It's not going to be an unboxing as such, but I just want to talk about them and how I've come to acquire them. So let's get into it, I guess. So the first pen I've got here is my TWSBI in indigo and bronze. Now, as you know, because my mother-in-law passed away, I didn't make it to the Pelikan hub as planned. And pen friend Ray very kindly picked up my goodie bag for me and sent it to me, which was very kind of him. And of course with that, I got the Pelikan of the Year. And I can't remember what the name of it is. Hang on. Golden Lapis. Oh, seriously. So, brain's not working at 100% yet, I guess. So Golden Lapis, it's a beautiful bright blue ink with a gold shimmer through it. So that's the first one that I've got inked up. And I'm just going to write up here at the top because I haven't done any stamping. I'm very, very unorganised. I might leave room to do the November and just put here, currently inked, because I'll do my stamping of November there. Inked. So this is the first one. I'm just going to roll it between my hands to get the shimmer going. It has a medium nib on it, which I think TWSBIs generally handle shimmer inks quite well. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a good match for this pen. Okay, so I'll go down here. Wow, a lot of shimmers coming out. And dare I say it almost looks like it's writing a bit dry, or is that because of the shimmer in it? See, these are all fun troubleshooting things that you get to work out. Okay, so let's see if it writes. It's got a lot of shimmer there. So TWSBI Eco, and it is in the indigo And there's no shimmer coming through on the writing just yet, I don't think. Or maybe a little bit. Indigo, bronze. It has a medium nib. And inked with... It's struggling. It's struggling with the amount of shimmer that's in it. Pelikan, Edelstein, golden lapis. Now, I can see that the shimmer's coming through in the ink. I think what I haven't done is actually let the shimmer settle a little bit before I inked it up. So that's what you can do. You can sort of mix the shimmer through the ink and get it moving a bit, but then you just kind of let it settle for, I don't know, a minute or so, and let some of the shimmer fall to the bottom and then ink it up. And that way you're not going to get so much shimmer in your feeds, and but it is actually writing there. I'm so sorry, the sun's disappeared on me now. Like, the clouds are setting in, it's dark. Anyway, I'm hoping you can see this. So that's the first one, and I'm really excited this is the first time using this ink, so I'm quite excited to be actually using this and trying it. Now the next one I've got here is also a TWSBI Eco. It's in the white rose gold, and this is actually an ink that I had a sample of a couple of years ago and really loved, and then forgot about it again. And then I saw, when I did an order with Atlas Stationers, thank you to all of you who have used my coupon code and affiliate link, I get store credit because of that. I was able to purchase a bottle of this ink when I saw that they had it back in stock. So I'm just moving the bit of shimmer around. This is one that I kind of let the shimmer sort of settle a little bit in the bottle. So this is a TWSBI Eco in white rose gold. It has a medium nib and is inked with, which I think is perfect for the season in the northern hemisphere, but it's actually a different season here in the southern hemisphere, but I'm still using it. It's inked with Dominant Industry. Autumn Forest. Is that what it is? Gosh, I am really struggling. Yeah, Autumn Forest. I just second guessed myself then for a minute. Sorry, folks. So this one is like a greeny sort of khaki base, and it's got a bit of a rose gold shimmer through it. I'm not sure if that's actually coming through though in my writing sample. But it's a very, very pretty ink. Now the next one we've got here is the Platinum 3776. It has a 14 karat medium gold nib. It's got the little heart there. It's a very pretty pen. And this is still inked up from last month. I really enjoyed using it. I actually inked it up again with the same ink. So it has a 14 karat medium nib. Writes beautifully. Inked with Birmingham Pen Company. And it's hydrothermal spring. Now this was a sample from Pen Friend Darla. So big inky thanks to Darla, and big inky thanks to Ray for sending me my goodie bag from the Pelikan Hub. So that's the next one I have. Now this one, you all know, it's one of my favourite Just Turnings pens, or actually one of my favourite pens in my collection. I call it the Custom Copper Line, and he actually made this to house my Platinum 3776 Nice Lavender nib, because the actual body of the pen cracked and broke, and the section all here around cracked and was leaking ink everywhere. So he made this beautiful pen body for this nib. I've had it for about 2 years now, I think. Maybe 2.5 years. So this is Just Turnings. He has a sale on it at the moment too, this weekend. Not Just Customs, it's Just Turnings. See, I told you guys I'm all over the place at the moment. Just Turnings Custom Copper Line. And it has the, I'm just going to put here with the Platinum 3776 nib. Um, 14K medium nib, and it is inked with another sample from Pen Friend Darla. This is the Birmingham Pen Company. I really love the way these inks flow. I just wish we could get them, or they shipped internationally to other countries, so we could, or other people could experience them as well. I've been very fortunate that I've got samples. But this one is called Distressed Leather, and it's such a nice browny colour. See, I'm putting brown again. I'm so sorry, everyone. I will get it together, don't you worry. So Distressed Leather. So that's the next one. Now, this is one of my favourite all-time pens. It was probably my first really expensive pen that I ever bought, and I think I got it back in, I want to say either 2019 or 2020. Maybe 2020. But it's the Pelikan M400 in white tortoise, and it has a fine nib. It has a beautiful nib on it. Like, this thing just writes like a dream. Never skips a beat. So Pelikan M400 in white tortoise, a 14 karat fine nib, and is inked with, this is your first hint for the video of pens that I may have acquired, Montblanc Jayne Austen. So it's a limited edition ink that they brought out to go with their Jayne Austen pen. It's a beautiful sort of grey, beigey grey with a hint of mauve to it as well. Like, it's a really beautiful colour. It reminds me a little bit of the Robert Oster and Desk Bandit Great Owl. Oh, now it's going to start raining and pouring. Okay, so yeah, so it's such a lovely coloured ink. I'm really enjoying it in this pen. So that's the next one. So we've got 5 here so far. I've only got 4 left. Like, as I said, keeping it very, very simple this month. Now, I actually am one of those people who likes to pay a bit of extra tax. And it's almost like a forced savings plan for me, I guess you could say. and was a bit naughty. I had 2 years worth of tax returns to put in. I find if you owe the government money, they kind of chase you and they want their money, and you can get a fine for not putting your tax return in. However, if they owe you money, they really don't care. They're happy to sit on it for a few years. So anyway, I finally got my act together. I got my 2 tax returns done, and I got quite a good amount back. And I was going to put it towards something for the house. And Simon said to me, he said, you know what, why don't you just put it towards a pen that you never ever thought you would have the money to buy? And I said, that feels so indulgent to me to do that. And he's like, no. He said, I think that's what you should do. So I did, and I had to go up to Queensland to Brisbane for an appointment. And so I went to the pen shoppy in the Brisbane arcade there, and they're a lovely little store, family run store, lovely people. Anyway, so I went in there and I wanted to have a look at a few different pens. And one of the pens that has been on my wish list for a long time is the Waterman Carene. And I tried buying it through Atlas Stationers, but every time I've gone to buy it through them, they've been out of stock. And I particularly wanted the amber. So I did look at the blue and silver one too. I can't remember what that one's called, but there was a huge price difference between the amber and the blue and silver one. I think the blue and silver is a bit of a limited edition, but this is the one I was after. It is a beautiful pen. It's actually a lot weightier than I thought it would be. It's a pull-off cap. This is the nib. It's just a classic, you know, like it's a classic pen. So I got this with a medium nib. I believe it has a 14 carat nib. If I've got that wrong, please just let me know in the comments below. So this one is the Waterman Carene. Can you hear that rain? Okay, I got mine in the amber. It's got a 14 carat medium nib, and it is inked with Waterman, and it's just the blue cartridge that's in it at the moment. Waterman blue cartridge. Haven't really inked it up with anything else yet, but just writes beautifully. Like I'm really impressed with it. I'm enjoying writing with it on a daily basis. So that was my first splurge. And then I'd had my eye on the Montblanc Jayne pen, and I thought that's what I was going to get, and that was my intention. And anyway, so I went to I tried it at the pen shoppy, and they dipped it for me so I could write with it. And I think the thing that kind of shocked me was how large it was. It was such a large pen and quite a heavy pen. And I'm someone who writes quite a bit with pocket pens and lighter pens. I find the bigger, heavier pens are lovely and they write well, but after a long time my hand gets quite sore and my wrist gets sore. So, and I write long letters and do journaling and everything, so I need a pen that I'm going to be able to use for a few pages and not get tired, if that makes sense. So I tried this Jayne pen. The details in it were beautiful. It was a beautiful looking pen, but I decided in the end it just wasn't for me. It was too big, it was too heavy, and I knew that I wasn't going to be writing with it regularly because of those two reasons. So from there I went to the other pen that I had on my wish list was a Montblanc Classic 145 in, but I particularly wanted the black and the rose gold, and they didn't have that either. And then another pen that I was after was the Montblanc Heritage Rouge Noir Baby in the cream, and they didn't have that either. So from there I went across to the Montblanc shop in Brisbane, and I asked about the Montblanc Heritage Rouge Noir Baby. That's this little one here, and they didn't have it in stock. So we'll come back to that. First of all, they did have this one though. Now this is the Montblanc Classic, Meisterstock Classic 145. It's smaller than the 149. The 149 is once again quite a big pen. This is more my size of pen that I tend to reach for. So this is the one that I got. It's got the little star on the top there. It has the rose gold trim, and it's just a very classic pen. And I always thought that when you bought a Montblanc pen, you were just simply buying into the name of it and that sort of elitism or prestige for the brand, I guess you could say. But the nibs are just beautiful. Like, I was really surprised, pleasantly surprised actually. So this is the Montblanc Meisterstock Classic. It is the 145. I believe it has an 18 karat gold nib, and I got it in a fine, and it is inked with Montblanc Toffee Brown, and it's just a cartridge. I've been using cartridges probably in the last week and a half just because it's easier at the moment. So Toffee Brown cartridge. And it's just a beautiful pen to write with. It's the right size for my hand. It's the right weight for my hand. And I can write with it for long writing sessions. So it ticks the boxes for me. And as I said, very classic pen. And feel very, very fortunate to have it. And so, and that's at the time, that's when I got the Montblanc Jane Austen ink as well. I thought, well, I'm not going to get the Jane Austen pen because I've actually enjoyed her books over the years, and my name is Jayne, even though it's not Jane. I just sort of thought it was a writer's edition. It had my name, Jayne, and she's an author that I've enjoyed her books, so I think that's why it was sort of ticking a lot of boxes for me. But as I said, when I looked at it and tried writing with it, the size and the heaviness of it just wasn't for me. So anyway, so very, very excited. You know, I had these beautiful pens, new pens that I never ever thought I would have. Or the Waterman Carene I knew was sort of within my scope of getting one day, but the Montblanc, just I'd never thought of spending that kind of money before. And then I think Simon knew I was a little bit disappointed I couldn't get the Montblanc Heritage Rouge Noir Baby, and he said, why don't you just have a look and see if they've got it online somewhere? And I thought, oh, okay then. And I said, oh, look, I've spent so much already. And he's like, no. He said, you've still, you know, got money there, so why don't you have a look for it? So going home, coming back home in the car, it's about a 3-hour drive for us. He said, just have a look. So I went online and I found it. And so I'm so thrilled. This is a limited edition. It's a tiny, tiny pen. So if I put it next to a TWSBI to give you a bit of an idea. This is a TWSBI and this is the Montblanc Baby. So as you can see, there's a big difference. I think I purchased it on the Wednesday, as I said, coming home, and it had arrived by the following Monday from Italy. Like, that's impressive. And it was free shipping. Like, I guess when you're paying that amount of pen, you kind of expect really great service, but I kind of wasn't expecting great service. But anyway, so this is it. It is beautiful. It's a heavier pen than I thought. It's heavier than a Kaweco Sport, but it just writes beautifully. And I knew that it wrote beautifully because when I went up to the Southeast Queensland Journal Keepers meetup back in May, my friend Karen had one and she let me try hers. So I knew that it wrote beautifully, and I knew the size and what it felt like. And so it's just a pull-off cap, and it has threads around here that you screw on to make a longer pen, and it's perfect for my hand. I really love it. So I got this one with a medium nib because I thought, well, I've got the other one with a fine nib, so I'll get this one with a medium nib. So Montblanc Heritage Rouge Noir Baby in cream. I think they spell the cream like this. It is an 18 karat medium and is inked with Montblanc Burgundy cartridge. So yeah, it writes beautifully. It feels good in the hand. It's the perfect weight. It's just a gorgeous pen. Like, I feel very, very fortunate to have it. As I said, it's not something that I ever thought was attainable for me, but just very, very thrilled with it. So, and lastly but not least, for my last pen for this month, I was sitting in hospital, and I'd taken my journal with me and some letter writing stuff, but I was finding it at times a little bit hard to concentrate. So I was just, scrolling on my phone, like you do. And I saw that Amazon had a really great deal on this little pen. So this is the Sailor Pro Gear Mini in Benny White. And I think in Australia they usually retail for about $250, $260, and Amazon had it for like $113. And it's got a 14 karat medium fine nib. And it was another one that was on my wish list of pens that I would like one day. So I used to have one in the grey. I think they called it Azure Grey or something like that. And I ended up selling it because I had Pro Gear, a couple of Pro Gear Slims, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll get rid of this grey one. And but I'm quite pleased with this, and it's just like, I don't know, classic little pen, but it's a beautiful pocket pen. It screws off. You just post it on the top like this, and once again I've just got a cartridge in here. So it's not particularly interesting this month, people. I don't think, like, it's not like I've got a crazy amount of pens inked up and I've got all these different coloured inks. I just need to keep it simple. So this is the Sailor Pro Gear Mini in Benny White with a 14 carat medium fine nib, and it is inked with a Sailor black cartridge that it came with. This is, you can't actually fit a converter in this pen, only cartridges, but what I tend to do with a lot of my cartridges, if I don't have converters, is I wait till I use the fill and then I just flush it out with a syringe and air dry it, and then refill it with a syringe with an ink of choice. So that's what you can do if you don't have converters for pens as well. So I've done that for a lot of years actually. So they're my 9 pens that I've got that I'm going to be using. They all write beautifully. I don't have a lot of variation in my pens and nibs this month, but remember I do have my TWSBI Eco rainbows that are always inked up. So if I'm wanting a little bit of a splash of colour or something bright and fun to write with, I know that I can reach for one of those pens as well. So that's what I'll probably do, but this is what I'm going to go with for this month, and just see how it pans out. I feel very fortunate to have the pens that I have, and I'm very grateful to everyone who has sent me ink samples. I know I have a lot more ink swatching to do. I had envisaged that I'd do a lot of that this week, and it just hasn't happened. So look, I even made up a page ready to go over here, ready to do more. These were some of the ones that I swatched with you in a last video from pen friend Tanya. So, and I did up another page ready to go, and it just hasn't happened. And that's okay, you know, you can only do what you can do. So maybe I'll get to that this coming week, who knows. So as always, I've still got my 2 envelopes for you that I send out to subscribers. So if you are a subscriber of this channel, and I need you to be able to be on Instagram as well, to send me a DM message with your name and address details. So and turn your notifications on, because sometimes when I reply to people, they don't actually see that I've replied to them. So, and then I never hear back from them as to their name and address details and so forth. So the 2 envelopes we've got this month these are hand painted. I actually painted these and stamped them. This one is Butterfly, and this one is Typewriter. So I like this one, not my circus, not my monkeys. So these are the 2 envelopes I've got, Typewriter, Butterfly. So the first 2 people to comment below and put your butterfly or typewriter comment in a separate comment to what you would normally put, just so I can see it quickly and get back to you. And it's also easier for other people to then see whether someone else has claimed it as well. So Butterfly, Typewriter, and yeah, so they're the 2 that I will send out this month. Thank you so much to everyone who has watched today and listened to me stumble through the video. I do appreciate you being here. I hope that you enjoy your fountain pen day. And some people haven't got the budget to go out and buy pens either today. And I think that's okay. Like, enjoy what you already have. For the first few years of my fountain pen journey, I just had a handful of pens and a handful of inks, and I was more than happy. I didn't feel the need to run out and get absolutely everything. It allowed me to break into the hobby slowly, but also get to know those pens and get to know what inks I liked. It was a slow start, and it's only probably been in recent years that it has ramped up a little bit more. And I know what I like now, as opposed to, that is very different to what I liked 8 or 9 years ago. So it's funny how your tastes do change over time, and mine have. So anyway, as I said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to pen friends Ray and Darla for their inks. And I'll see you back here next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.